Hello everyone. So I just wanted to have a chat about the recent game that I had. So one of the comments that I got on, I think it was my last video or the video before, was about how my channel seems to be quite newbie friendly, which is the best feedback ever. So thank you so much. So on the back of that, I wanted to give some newbie related um, I guess insight into the game, or at least from my perspective. So we'll start with what happened yesterday. So what happened yesterday? We had two games go on at my house. I hosted this time, so we had two games go on. Game number one was Space Marines versus Custodes, and I think I'll put a photo up here somewhere of a picture of them. So it's Space Marines versus Custodes. Now, in the photos you'll see the Custodes are pretty much fully painted, or they are. In fact, actually, they are fully painted, whereas the Space Marines are not. So the Space Marines are being inspired by the Blood Ravens chapter, which I don't believe is a canon chapter, but it's the chapter that you play as in the game Dawn of War 1. So my friends painted them in that color scheme, and all his models, which are the red models in the photos that you're going to be seeing, they are all 3D printed, every single one, and they've improved drastically over the time that he has been printing, which is this year. So you'll see in the photos there's a few bikes, there's a lieutenant, and then there's a land raider. And the land raider is very good, by the way. The photos don't really do it justice, but they're very good. And the game went quite well. The Custodes did end up winning, but as far as I'm aware, not by much. If I remember rightly, I was busy cooking a barbecue at the time. Yes, I know it's winter, but it's never the wrong time for a barbecue. Um, Now, the Blood Ravens player decided to try and use shock tactics against the Custodes by sort of charging at the board, being a good presence. Unfortunately, the Blood Ravens player got first turn, and they exposed the Land Raider to the dreaded grav tank, or two grav tanks that the Custodes player had, and unfortunately, battle round one, that that Land Raider was gone. So because that power projection up that flank had gone, and the scary unit that were inside it, which was a bunch of Blade Guard veterans, they couldn't get into melee in the entire game. They were so far back, they just couldn't get anywhere. That ended up costing the game. The fact that the scary unit was just not able to get to the fight did have a major impact as well. Um, the Blood Ravens player did use a drop pod as well. However, used it as a more distraction technique. The problem is with Custodes, that doesn't really work because Custodes are really tough, and the shooting of Space Marines is not very good. So he put them in the back line, shot the Custodes. It didn't really do anything. So the Custodes player just ignored them. So there's loads of tactics in this game, loads of tactics, and you learn. I think personally, the best way I've learned is from just playing. It's not even losing; it's just seeing how certain things happen. Okay, on the field. So the Blood Ravens player went, well, deep strike in that drop pod turn one, which you can do with a drop pod, was probably a bad idea. So I'm not going to do that next time. Or I just won't take a drop pod. I used a drop pod, but then the person I played against did fall for the distraction, and I was playing Space Marines obviously with a drop pod, and they were also playing Space Marines. So because we were fairly well matched, and the shooting of a Space Marine against a Space Marine is still fairly good, it did work. And the squad of 10 assault intercessors with the chaplain and Titus did actually do quite well. So it was pretty good. Now, so that was the Custodes and the Blood Ravens player. Custodes very experienced. The Blood Raven player not as much, because me and the Custodes player play quite a bit together. So then comes the second game, which was my Necrons versus the Blood Ravens. And again, you'll see, I think I've only got one photo of this on here, so it'll be the photo of the monolith in the game. This game did not go very well for me at all. I Unfortunately, I used Hypercrypt, which is a detachment that's all about teleporting stuff around the map. It's very fun, but it is the hardest one apparently to master. The issue is that if I remember correctly, 4 out of 6 of the special stratagems in their codex required the monolith to be on the ground. The issue with that is that for the first round, and I believe the second round, my monolith was in Deep Strike. No, it would have been. Yeah, so I believe I brought it in as a rapid ingress on turn 2. Unfortunately for me, where I wanted to put it, part of the base of the monolith would have been out of bounds because the opponent, the Blood Ravens player, had just screened very well. And this is again, this is a tactic that he picked up playing against Custodes because they do like deep striking, especially with their Alaris Terminators, is that he had learnt to screen. And because he knew that I was going to use the monolith and how dangerous that was, because he had done some research previously, he screened out the monolith in the back line, which was a very good thing for him to do. And because I then brought the monolith in at my side, it was in the no man's land, but it was closer to me. I used its special ability to teleport a character out of danger because the opponent had assassination as a secondary card. Unfortunately for me, it just meant that he scored like 3 less points because he decided to kill 2 characters that turn instead of 3. And in at the end of Battle Round 2, every single unit of mine except the monolith was locked up in melee. Now the problem is Hypercrypt allows you to take up to 3 models because it's 2 for this, 2 for the size of the game plus 1 because I had an enhancement on the leader. It allows you to pick up 3 models, any 3 models, off the field at the end of the opponent's turn. You just take them off, put them back into reserves. You can't do that when they're in melee. So he locked everything except the monolith into melee, and I was like, I am not even going to bother picking the monolith up because it's not really worth it. The monolith's pretty good shooting. It had, I think it had 18 or 19 wounds left at that point. Well, about half an hour later, at the end of my opponent's shooting phase, that monolith was destroyed. And on the field, I then had 1 squad of 10 immortals left. And that was it. Oh, and Caesarus. I had Caesarus and 1 squad of 10 immortals left with their leaders. The game was over. There was no way. And it ended up being, I think, 49 to 25. So for me, it didn't go very well. But you learn. You learn. There's nothing wrong in this game with losing. That's the message that I'm trying to give you guys, is that I now know never get close to things with the Necrons in that detachment. Don't get close to them. Just keep your distance, shoot them, and then when you're like, oh, I'm going to end up in charge range, just pick them up. Just pick them up. It's a good option. Or save your CP and teleport them to the monolith and then pick them up, which you can do, but that's an expensive stratagem. It's 2 CP. You can, with an Overlord, make it 1, but I think that's only once per game, so it's rough. But that's the message for you guys, is please, please, please don't get disheartened by losing. It is just a game, and someone has to lose, and you might as well learn from it while it happens. I have... Well, Necrons I lost really badly. I've never lost that badly. But again, this was the first time I'm playing them. So to get 25 points I think was okay. Yeah, definitely don't be afraid to go out and have a game. And just have a go. People aren't horrible. They're understanding. There were a few disagreements at the table yesterday, in both games in fact. Not just involving me, but we sorted them out. It's all about intention and just not being a knob. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. If you have any more questions about anything, please let me know in the comments. But thank you so much, and have a great day.